Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 97 of What's That Pepper series. Today I have a very exciting episode to show you, and I was actually sorting peppers out to make hot sauce and to freeze the rest, and I've selected a few beautiful varieties I want to show you, and then after I show you, we're going to select one of it and give it a taste. I have the Flaming Torch, the Gangsta Yellow, the Scotch Brain, Lemon Starburst, Peach Star Kissed, and StarrRacha Hornet. So we're going to take a look at all of them. I'm going to show you because they're just one of my favorite peppers of all time. And we're going to select one, and I think we're going to do the Hornets because this is a late season and I really want to know how good they taste, because if they do taste good, then I may save seeds for those, and if they don't, then I'll just wait until the next season to save them because I've already gotten enough seeds from early in the season. So let's go take a look at my peppers. I don't have the plants right now because they're all dead, but I picked them and I've been washing them, so I'll show you what they look like. Alright guys, here are all of the peppers I have selected, and I'm going to show you and give you a brief description of what they are. These are some of the most beautiful peppers, and even in the late season they still look pretty good. So here we go. We'll start with these. These are my Flaming Torch. The orange flame, sorry, the Flaming Torch is the cousin. And these are some of the most beautiful peppers that I've grown this season. And they're very, very beautiful. They point up to the sky like this. And then this one looks just like a flame. So that's why I call it the orange flame. They are, this is the color when they're most ripe, the orange color. But before they turn orange, the peach color is what they are. So eventually they'll transition into this gorgeous orange color here, and you see how shiny they are. And I picked these and they've been in my garage for probably over a week and a half, and they still look fresh. So these are some of the peppers that you can pick it off the plant, leave it in at room temperature, and it'll stay fresh for a very long time. So that is one of the really cool traits that I love about these peppers, besides the way they look. They have very little heat. I mean, they have good amount of heat, but compared to the rest, they're not that hot. But they're beautiful to grow, and the tree or the plant is enormous. They produce hundreds and hundreds of these beautiful pods here. And the trunk of one of these plants that I grew, they're like the size of a little tree. So if you grow these, man, you're gonna expect to get a really big plant, unless you put them in a small pot. Okay, and next we have, these are Gangsta Yellow. And the Gangsta Yellow are also another variety that I really, really like. They have crazy bumpy texture, and sometimes they have thorns coming out, and they're actually cousin to my StarrRacha Hornet, and I'll show you why in a bit. But this is how they look. They look like a Scotch bonnet right here, and then they have thorns and they're really wrinkled. And these are the small ones because these are late season. They usually grow about this size or larger. So see, this is one of them, but it's not in the shape that I like, but they usually get pretty darn big. So these late seasons are small, but they still look really nice and pretty. So they're super hot too, so be careful when you eat these things. Okay, and then the StarrRacha Hornet. And as I mentioned, one of the parent is the MOA Scotch bonnet, and that is why it looks exactly like the cousin here. You see? They're very similar in texture and the way they look. But the Hornets usually have these crazy stingers that come out of them. These are kind of bent. They also have these little thorns coming out occasionally. They're very crazy looking, and they're super hot. So you see that these are the cousins, so that's why they look almost exactly the same. So these are some of the few favorites of mine that are super hot. Okay, next we have the Peach Star-Kissed, and these are one of my most beautiful varieties that I created. I'm very, very proud of these. And these are cousin to the Lemon Starburst. You see how beautiful they are? And they're usually like in a flying saucer shape. And sometimes they have a little tail, but the majority of the time it's just that saucer shape, and they're just gorgeous. They look good, and they also taste really good. The heat is not that much, but it still has a good amount of heat. So for people that prefer like average heat or a little bit above average heat, these are great. They're cousin to the Lemon Starburst, as I mentioned, so they look pretty much the same. You see here? And some people prefer the Lemon Starburst for taste, and some prefer the Star-Kissed for taste. The Lemon Starburst here, they're bright yellow, super bright yellow, like a lemon, when they're at the best stage to pick. And they're super, super productive. So one plant, one of our friend Eric Hale, he has a YouTube channel, and he grew one plant this year that produced 420 something peppers of the Lemon Starburst. So that is a crazy amount for one plant. So imagine you get huge pods of these beautiful yellow all over your plants. I mean, they're usually really bushy, so sometimes you don't see the peppers. You have to like lift off the plant to see them. So they're really, really cool. And next we have the Scotch Brains, and man, these are also another varieties that I really, really love, and I grow these basically every year because of how beautiful they are. They look great, they taste great. I love to make salsa for tacos with these. And look at this, guys. You see these? So you see how with these bumpy texture, very nice and bumpy, but the salsa shape like a Scotch bonnet. So it's a cross between a brain strain and a Scotch bonnet, and those are some of the best peppers ever, in my opinion. And the result is right here is a cross of two of the best peppers, and this is what you get. So if you have not grown Scotch Brain, you should add it to your list because it is just gorgeous, and it produces a lot of peppers too. They're average in heat, but they're great for sauce because of the thick texture, and they're just an overall really good variety. And the best trait is the way they look. I just love these things. And that is it, guys. So we're going to take the Hornet and cut it open and give it a try. Alright guys, here is a closer look at the Hornet, and we are going to cut it open and give it a try. And for those that have not seen the Hornet's video before, the Hornet is a cross between an MOA Scotch bonnet and a Reaper. So it is a very tasty pepper, at the same time very, very hot. This is late season, so they don't look very nice. So I don't really like the way they look right now. So I won't save seeds for this. But I do wanted to try to see if they do taste good, and if they do taste good, I may save seeds for one or two of them, because I have a bunch more in the other bucket. So let's cut these out and try it. Doesn't have many seeds. And usually that is the case of my late season pods. They don't have a lot of seeds because they're very, very small, and they never had a chance to kind of like fully grown. So what you get is just like what the plant is trying to produce before it dies away. So it may not even taste that great either. So let's give it a smell. Wow, it smells basically like a Chinense peppers with a fume of heat, and a very, very strong fume of heat in your nose. It does have a slight hint of sort of like I think it's kind of floral a little bit, and there's a little sweetness to the smell. Sometimes you can detect it It's really strange in pepper. If you smell many different kind, you can almost tell which one is kind of sweet and which one is not. Okay, so we're going to cut a piece here because I don't do whole pod. I can never do a whole pod of anything that is super hot. It's just too hot for me. Alright guys, here it is. These are my StarrRacha Hornet, and I bred this variety mainly for hot sauce because if you watched my videos in the past, I didn't have a lot of space, so I didn't want to grow a super hot and a medium hot with a good flavor to mix them for hot sauce. And that's usually how I created my hot sauce in the past. I use Scotch bonnet for like the nice great flavor, the tropical sweetness, and then I'll add like a brain strain or a reaper or some super hot in there to kind of like mix things up and create a nice balance of heat and flavor. So I decided to breed one that would have both traits. That way I'll just grow one plant and that take care of both of what I wanted. So that's why I bred the Reaper with my MOA Scotch bonnet, and I got the StarrRacha. So it's a pretty nice pepper that is crazy hot. It smells really, really hot. So the wall is a little thicker than the usual super hot, like the Ghost. Ghost has really thin wall sometimes. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, the thin wall peppers, they're really hot and they have kind of like a floral flavor, and the bill comes on really slow and it just hits you really, really hard. So I do prefer the nice thicker wall a little bit. So this reminds me of a brain strain smell also, or a 7-pot. So it has that fume chinen super hot smell. So let's give it a taste. Nice sweetness. Heat immediately. Yeah, there's a lot of heat. Immediately, as in the heat, you know that is there, but it doesn't grab you until right now. So it's coming on stronger and stronger and stronger. And as I mentioned, these kind of peppers, the heat comes slowly and then it gets all over and it gets really, really hot. Full mouth burn just from that little piece. Throat burn. Still building. Wow, this is hot. I'm salivating like crazy. Decent flavor. Not as as good as I was expecting. Wow. I don't know how people eat whole pods of pepper like these. That little piece is enough. A full throat burn, and then when it gets this hot, my saliva kind of thickens up, and sometimes it creates a little bubble in the back and it pops back there. Oh man, that thing hurts. Tearing a little bit. This one has an even all over burn in the area that I chew from my mouth all the way through the throat. So anywhere that it makes contact, that's where the heat is. And now it's right here in my throat. It's kind of like stinging right there, but it's dying down. Whew, man. It has decent flavor, but not a lot of seeds, and the seeds are pretty thin anyway, so it's probably not viable seeds. This is because I think this was a semi-ripe pod that I had to pick before everything freezes over. So it didn't get a chance to fully mature and get all of that good flavor into the pod before I picked it. So this is the Hornet right here. This is actually an F1, so it was pretty unstable. This here, I forgot how, I think it's F5 now. Still a little unstable, but you get pretty consistent heat, nice flavor and texture. Very nice and firm pepper too. That's what I really like. So when you pick it at the right stage, they're perfect for hot sauce. And these are supposed to get really, really big. If you want to see the size of how big they get, watch a video from Peter Stanley. Peter grew these for a few years now. I think he did a few reviews on it too. I'm gonna find those videos and link you to all the people that did the review on the Hornets. I said the Hornet, and you see they're pretty hot. I'm not really sure how hot they are. I can only say that it's a super hot, and all the super hot is too hot for me. So I guess the more I struggle, then I can tell which one is hotter. The Death Spiral, guys, that is one of the hottest one I've had. And the Brazilian Ghost, the Reaper definitely. And the earlier Hornets that I grew that has a hook, man, those things tore me up. The Jay's Red Ghost Scorpion and the Jay's Peach Ghost Scorpions. Those are beautiful peppers. They look great and they're crazy hot. I think the Jay's Peach Ghost is very, very hot. It's hotter than the red one for me. And I love that variety. So any of the Jay's variety, guys, if you're looking for something that is good and with good heat, grow those. They're also very beautiful. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. You see my nose is running. Heat is basically all gone now. And I have a numbness in my tongue. But I didn't really like the flavor too much. So definitely not going to save seeds for this. But the one early in the season, they're all great. I didn't make a video because I've done it before. But yeah, if you have a chance to grow these, trade seeds with people on the Pepper Lovers community. I think a lot of people have this already. So check it out. Highly recommended for hot sauce. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.